We're here, we're ready, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the halfway stage, round 5 of our FPRL Season 9 Tier 3 Championship. Rolls right off the tongue. We are here at the Internacional Algrave. I've completely butchered that pronunciation. Otherwise known as Portimao in Portugal. I'm Cruiser 1872, and joining me is it really a surprise anymore at this point, or even I say a surprise? Monkey Boy Kurt, how we doing?
Yeah, good mate, not bad. Obviously, we have got a sprint tonight. Sprint quali is coming up, and as we can see, let's not try and hide from it. The numbers are a bit on the low side tonight, but hopefully the 11 that are currently in the lobby, I think we are expecting hopefully another couple to join a bit later on. But yeah, hopefully we can still see some good racing tonight. We've got say all of the main contenders. Destroyer is currently not with us. Hopefully he will be joining for the main race. But yeah, let's look forward to it. We've got 10 minutes of qualifying to come in this sprint quali, so probably 2 runs max. Let's see who can perform the best out of the guys that we've got.
Yeah, I suppose that's all it is. With 11 drivers tonight, as it is, there's a very high chance that there's going to be some big gains and even some big losses in this championship too. So in the sprint race, even more on offer. 8 points for the winner of the sprint race, and the potential 26 for the winner of the main race with the fastest lap. Put that in a little asterisk next to that. So 34 points is a maximum haul tonight, and that will really shake things up in this championship, especially for the likes of Button, playing a bit of catch-up after the last couple of races, not quite going their way, but will stick with his former teammate David Lawface just ahead of him, as I believe the Alpine of Wizard of Oz. We'll see what the Alpine decides to do, and it looks like he's going to go on and start his lap, but we'll stick with David, a driver who's kept his head down this season. And we haven't really spoken about him too much apart from the odd, there's David making a couple of overtakes, but did pick up a podium finish last time out around Vegas, so very much a welcome back for David, and his first podium, if I'm correct, since a victory around Baku last season. So we'll see what David has to offer, as well as the Alpine of Wizard of Oz. Both of them having consistent qualifying. Got to be careful though for Hirsch making his way out the pit lane, and Hirsch keeping well to the right hand side. In turn 1 you throw it to said right hand side, hoping to avoid cars leaving the pit lane. Immediately turn 2, turn 3, now this tricky little turn 4 traction zone. So easy to lose the rear, but David holds on quite nicely. Now towards the turn 5 hairpin. One thing about Portimao that I find is there is no good traction model in this around this track. Full traction, you bog down. Medium traction, it's the horrible medium, and full traction, you're itching to get spun round. It's the day and an age for you to get the power back down around these corners. But David faring quite well. Still keep an eye though on Wizard of Oz further ahead. Keep an eye on his sector times as David up to the end of sector 2, and now this final few hairpins around sector 3, and the final isn't really a corner. David jump on board with for this run to the line. Just see the elevation changes around Portimao. Part of the reason why this is a fan favourite, and although it's been a hiatus for a couple of seasons now on the F1 calendar, it's why it's remained in F1 24. Wizard of Oz on a 17.7, David a stable 19.0. Plenty of room for improvement for him as Hirsch sets about to start his lap. What about Reese's Pieces? We'll see what the McLaren can do. He's had a good run of form recently. Purple sector 3, but it's a 10th down on Wizard of Oz. Currently up in second place of the 3 times set so far.
Yep, 3 times. Oh, there's a yellow flag out. I think is it Zafir is our lead driver in the Aston Martin.
I think that's Hirsch. It's just getting out of the way. Might have made a mistake.
Yeah. Well, he's saying that he's got a completely black screen apparently. So I don't know what's going to go on there, but he said he's going to try and fix it. So he's going to have to retire. I think he leaves the lobby. This game is so annoying, it probably will retire him. So I don't know what he's going to try and do, but while tries to fix his issues. Let's have a look, see who else is coming round. We've got Flo just starting, Jay's coming out the pits, Button is out lap, and probably the Tattooed Star is the nearest person to now be finishing off his lap. His first run in the Ferrari. Let's see what he can do. He comes round slow right-hander, getting on the throttle now towards the flat-out right-hander for the last corner of the circuit. Here he comes. The medium tyres, what's this going to put him? It puts him P4 in front of his teammate for now, Sheriff Woody, 18.3, and he has left the session. And I don't know if you've got him added, Cruiser, but if not, I'm going to have to leave as well, add him, and then be able to invite him back, if you see what I mean.
I will get back to you in about 10 seconds on that, because I don't know myself. We'll scroll through. If you see your name, give us a little wave in the Twitch chat. Where is he? I fear I don't. I do not.
Okay,
so,
I will leave and I have to add him then. As there comes the Flow on soft tyres, and he goes P3. Right.
he'll be happy with that though. Well, you tend to Zafir. Let's keep an eye out on everyone else. We've got Button heading through it. Monkey Boy Tart, when you're done with that, ask me for an invite. I'll get you back in, or if you can join up anyway. Button, Jay, and Hirsch, the three yet to set a lap time so far. We've got 5 minutes left, so we're kind of approaching the one lap range for the likes of the three I have just mentioned. But Button will be the first one to finish his lap. Has saved a lot of battery for sector 3, and I don't blame him. This is easily the shortest sector on the track, and up to the line for Button. It's a 17.7. He's lost out by 0.04 of a second over Wizard of Oz, but does he have enough fuel for one more run? We'll find out in a moment. Speaking of late runs, Jay, last time out around Vegas, if I'm correct, provisionally on pole by 0.02 of a second, as there's some black tyre smoke there. That is a very big lockup for the Flow, getting well out the way of the Williams, and Hirsch has abandoned that lap, seeing how much time is left, so he's going to go for one more run. Zafir in the chat saying, AI did my lap, had a black screen, so had to retire. Hopefully the brightness from that isn't a problem for the race. It seems like every race so far this season, there's been a driver that has been plagued with gremlins. We've had internet issues, and now tonight we've got a darkened screen as Jay Undisputed goes 5th on an 18.0. Still 3/10 behind Wizard of Oz, but I think the surprise lap here, actually, dare I say, is the Tattoo Star, well clear of his teammate, and David down in 8th and 9th, and only a couple of tenths back from the likes of Brewmaster, Jay, Flo, who have had some half-decent performances so far in qualifying. As we'll jump back, the Flo is on a lap, if that is to be correct. He's up by 2/10. So this is going to be the final push here for the Flo, looking to try and get the early advantage here in our sprint race. First of 2 races this evening. Of course, with the new format changes, we have our sprint qualifying and our sprint race different to our main qualifying and our main race. Originally, the sprint results were took for the main race grid. Now it's a completely different, I say completely different event. It's a different format. So we'll see what the sprint race holds and maybe get a bit of an idea as to who is quicker around this Portugal circuit, and a proper roller coaster of a track. No promises, but we're going to hope for some roller coaster action, which up and down goes the Flow around the final corner. He was 3/10 up at the second sector split. As he's kept enough battery for the run to the line, the answer is no, he hasn't. All that time he's made up, he's lost, and is now down in 3rd. That's quite surprising for the Flow, but just shows too how much the ERS is powerful around here. We've got 2 minutes to go, and I think unless he's got enough fuel and enough tread in those tyres, he will have one more run. But that is a bit of a surprise there for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get him added, but doesn't seem to be liking anything, unfortunately.
Hopefully it does get sorted out. If it isn't able, then I'm sorry, Zafir, it's just not going to happen. Anyway, we've got just over 90 seconds left in the session. It seems like everyone now is going on to the soft tyres. All but Hirsch, surprisingly, so keeping a set of mediums, keeping a set of softs rather, in his locker for the race, and is not liking turn 1, it's safe to say, as Ruhrmaster up by 6 tenths. This at the moment will put him at a 17.4, well clear of Wizard of Oz, Button and Reese's Pieces, but it's about how much time that they can make up compared to the Haas, who has been indomitable in this season so far. Every race we've had, there's been a Haas in the top step, 3 times for Destroyer, and Ruhrmaster picking up the winner in Miami, and it's a 17.1 that they're trying to chase. So Ruhrmaster has the advantage, but who is going to accept the call? Because first up to set a challenge is going to be Reese's Pieces in that McLaren. Next up would be Wizard of Oz, and last up, a bit poetically, would be Button. He's going to be the second to last driver, if Jay can get round in time, which he should. He's starting to find though, is the Williams driver. But Button will start his lap. Ruhrmaster has done his lap, and there goes the flow. Not going to improve in their laps, so at worst, the flow will be in 4th. But we'll see what Reese's Pieces can do already. Down below 40% battery, as up to the end of sector 2 he goes, rising up the hill, pick your braking point, line crest, commit and throw it to the right hand side, and he's up by 8 tenths. This is going to put him at a 17.0, but does he have enough battery in stock for this run to the line? It's going to be very, very close, and Radical pointing out that the McLarens giving each other a tow to start their laps, so the flow done his bit for his lap and is doing more than enough to help Reese's Pieces get just enough in hand over Ruhrmaster, but that battery is now to single digits. Is it enough? It is more than enough. A 1:16.6, and that is a gain of 1.1 seconds compared to his medium run. Reese's Pieces is here to play tonight.
Yeah, what a great lap. That has to be said from Reese's Pieces. Absolutely. Oh, Wizard of Oz got it quicker. And we've still got people going around. Here comes Button as well. Can he? We know what he's like in quality. Can he take off the Wizard of Oz? I don't think he's going to. No, he's not. It'll be P4 for Button. Here comes Jay then, the last person to... Actually, no, I'll say that. We've got Hirsch as well on the mediums. What can Hirsch do? This is going to be last, I think. Well, it goes 10th. Beats Zafir, who I can't get back in the lobby. I've tried to add him, but he's just not seeming to like it, unfortunately. Here comes Jay then, 7 attempts up. This would put him up to around about P5. Has he got a bit more that he can go ahead of Button and Ruhrmaster potentially? But I think he can. I think that's up to P3, I think. It is.
Yep. There's a 17.0 if I caught that correctly. And in the middle of that, a Tattoo Star got ahead of the flow. He'll be very chuffed with that to start in 6th. And indeed, Jay, a 17.0. So 2 drivers breaking into the 1:16s. But Wizard of Oz just that little bit quicker, a 16. You know, that is actually the perfect mirror time. A 1:16.611. Nice one. Reese's Pieces a couple of hundredths back, but did get the assist from his teammate. The flow down in 7th. Jay in 3rd, Ruhrmaster, Button in 5th, Tattoo Star, the flow, Sheriff Woody, David, Hirsch, and Zafir plagued with gremlins as last of our 11 qualifiers for tonight's Portimao Sprint. And the Tattoo Star saying that he ran out of fuel on their final run. It might have actually been a bit better for the Tattoo Star, but at least they've got some pace for tonight. Tell you what, if they would have qualified ahead of the Button, they'd have been well chuffed.
Oh, and I'm in a bloody Red Bull, aren't I?
Oh, you didn't join up?
No, I didn't, but I've been trying to get back in the lobby. And, yeah, obviously...
but it's easy done. Well, you can give us a little sight see for the first lap.
I would have thought that I was already on the spectator, so, but... Oh, well.
Jump on board with the Red Bull. How with the Monkey Boy cat? It's very hectic at the front. It looks, it's a massive crash. Safety car, red flag.
This is one from, yeah, that's the worst.
Welcome to FPRL. Everything's going to go wrong at one point.
Well, at least there's another person on the grid.
Yeah. As far as I know, at least one member of the comms team has done this at one point. Forget to click spectator and join up in a car, because I've done it when we ran the F2 cars way back in like season 4, season 5.
Yeah. Oh, what tyres should I start on?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. There's a delay. There's a grey cloud just in the top left of your stream. I'd probably consider Inters. Oh wait, you're at Red Bull, not Ferrari. My bad. Oh wait, that's my team. Damn, I've just criticised my own team. So did we luck out in Vegas, Monkey? How did we do?
Oh, mate, Vegas was actually decent for me. Like I was saying before, the race wasn't I that I didn't think I was gonna have any chance, but no, it turned out to be really well actually, and we got a
Yeah, I can't
penalty,
imagine how that goes.
a 3 second penalty near the end, and yeah, probably could have been a podium, but that 3 second penalty made it. It was a P7, but we take the points. I think I'm now fourth in the championship somehow.
Yeah, I'll take my fastest lap in last place. Well, if you guys want to check out a week around Las Vegas, you more than do so. You can watch the VODs live on our, well, say live, on our Twitch channel right now, twitch.tv/FP Racing League. You'll be able to watch them through our channel like you are right now live around Portimao on this Monday evening. Our Tier 2 and Tier 1 drivers take to the track on Wednesday and Friday, 8 PM UK time. And to rewatch all of our previous races across Season 9 and in the past, check out our YouTube channel, Fair Play Racing League. Every race that we've uploaded on there, so you won't miss a thing. And dare I say, Season 8, check that out, because every race had everything possible. But we'll see what Season 9 has on offer, because right now it is an indomitable American output. But let's see what is on offer tonight. Can they go 5 for 5 in the Grand Prix? Or maybe go 6 for 6 in all of our races this season? We'll find out.
Right, here we go then. Last for the first.
Monkey Boy getting a bit of an early practice in for his race on Wednesday. I think we should disqualify him for that. Anyway, we have 5 lights, and with the late inclusion of our comms partner, we're away at Portimao. Wizard of Oz having a very good start there. Brewmaster challenging Button J down the middle, has to yield there, but Button around the outside, the pair of them takes up to third, and Sheriff Woody battling with David Lawface as the Fiat ZI car is still in the race. We'll see what he does there. There's David starting in the softs, getting caught out there by Sheriff Woody, the tattoo star, getting the place back against the floor, now up to 6th place and down to the hairpin. There goes Hirsch making a late move, and David, that's a bit naughty there from Hirsch, backs out of that in the end, but time has been lost and the damage has been done. But Wizard of Oz, Reese, Button, Brewmaster, Jay's your top 5 with the tattoo star, the flow, and Sheriff Woody in the points so far as this Monkey Boy kart, go on Monkey, making an overtake on Zafir, and there goes Hirsch and David resuming their fight, and now up towards turn 10. Late in the brakes goes David, but Hirsch is ahead at the apex and is up now into 9th. Worth saying though that the top 8 in a sprint race are the ones who score points. There goes Brewmaster and Button having their own little argy-bargy in towards the penultimate corner, and Button braking later, but this sharper turn is going to compromise him for this run up and down the hill. It's Wizard of Oz and Reese's Pieces who are now looking to have the move into turn 1 using that battery. Going to go to the inside on the mediums as the pair of them. Button starting on the softs. Reese's Pieces now to the inside. Is he going to brave it to the inside? He's alongside. He's going to throw it to the inside. He was not hitting the sausage curb, but Wizard of Oz holds on. Button now in third ahead of Brewmaster. He's held on to that fight as I goes Jay having to defend now against the flow. Sheriff Woody, Hirsch and the Tattoo Stars have been caught out a bit there and is now down to 9th.
Yeah, now obviously coming to the pits and retired, so I'm back watching this action. So yeah, Reese's Pieces looks like that he really wants this win, but Wizard of Oz is going to make it hard for him. Definitely the two strongest, as we clearly saw in quali. That's my car going back onto the track, so luckily that will be all the way before the leaders get around, hopefully. But yeah, Wizard of Oz 4 attempts, and obviously we've got DRS now, so this is the perfect chance for Reese's Pieces to try and take the lead. Just got to stay close for these last couple of corners and hopefully make a move down into turn 1.
There we are, we're just at the top 4 here on camera shot. I noticed though that Jay actually started on the hards, so he's very much going for a 2-stop strategy it seems around here, not fancying the tyre wear, as with the DRS active on lap 2, going over into lap 3 of this sprint race. This is where Wizard of Oz has got to be careful, because with that ERS, with that DRS, with that slipstream, this is Reese's Pieces in towards turn 1, hits the sausage curb again, forces Oz wide, and Oz retakes the place. Just about hanging on, and barely is that Alpine, but that slipstream, that straight line speed advantage in that McLaren is present. It's now in towards the hairpin downhill braking zone of turn 5. He's going to go a little bit later though, is Reese's Pieces. Get the elbows out, and is going to rub wheels with the Alpine, and Wizard of Oz says, "That's a bit too close for me, mate, get back," and is now once again holding on to this lead. But looming large is Button and Brewmaster, but the more they fight, Jay is now down in 6th as the Flow's got back, is now up into 5th place. So now the Flow, with that fight in front of him, they can now make this potentially a 7-car DRS train, as we got lap 3, we got 8 laps to go as we cross the line. As Edo's Brewmaster making a move on Button, like the opening lap, and Button gets back past him again in the run towards the penultimate corner. So Brewmaster's identified a spot he can get Button, but it's if he can make it stick.
That is the case, but now we'll go back to the front men. These two trying to battle it out. Wizard of Oz and Reese's Pieces coming down to the first corner. Will Reese's Pieces have enough speed? He's not going to have on this occasion. Into turn 1 goes the Wizard of Oz, and this is where you've got to be really careful on the track limits, obviously, because you really can run wide through turn 1, turn 2, and it's a very easy place to pick up warnings. But so far, so good for Reese's Pieces. Now, surely he's going to have a go down into the slow left-hander, but no, he doesn't. And oh, he hits the back of Wizard of Oz there. I don't think it was enough to lose him any wing, but still a little bump in the rear there for Wizard of Oz. Reese's Pieces almost looking like he really wants to attack here, but he's using a lot of battery compared to Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz obviously with about 15% more. If anyone's got the battery there, it's Brewmaster, almost a full battery still. He runs wide there, and that surely will be a warning for the Haas. And I was saying on the socials before the race that the Haas's have won 4 races out of 4 in this Tier 3 Championship. Could they make it 5 out of 5? It's very possible with how Brewmaster's going at the moment, but he's almost falling out of DRS of Button. On this occasion, Reese's Pieces is too far back from Wizard of Oz, and I think Button was about to make a move there, but I think he's just gone and drained a load of battery just to keep ahead, Reese.
Just and no more as the McLaren. As we look in the background, we got this little, this little melee here, as there goes Wizard of Oz, still leading them off, as we'll jump down towards this fight here for 6th place, involving Jay and Sheriff Woody. We're jumping board with the Ferrari, as there was Jay, waiting a little bit late in the brakes there, is the Williams, but starting to get a little bit held up, I think, by the Flow, who's on the softs. And I think this is what Jay was wanting, just wanting to just weather the early storm in the hards. We'll have a look at the positions graphic, because he has lost 3 places, but this is where the hards will get better. But what will be the damage he's got to make up later on? Because currently, as we look at the leader graphic, he's 4 seconds behind Wizard of Oz and is out of that top 4 DRS train. So he's got a lot of work to do, does Jay, as we approach the halfway distance in a sprint race. It's flying by, as the name suggests. Silver Boy redeeming a drink, Colcom's drink, or a truth or dare. I say or a truth or dare, and a truth or dare. Do your worst, Silver Boy, as to who you pick. But what I will say though, Wizard of Oz and Reese's Pieces have broke the I was going to say, as they broke the DRS to Button and Brewmaster, but I forget that's the leader graphic, not the interval graphic. Professional, as there goes Button in towards turn 1, it's still minding his own business, but Brewmaster is starting to drop back and has used a lot of that battery as Sheriff Woody picks up the first 3-second penalty of the evening. He still has that barrier though of 3.8 seconds to his teammate, so as it is, he will still inherit 7th place at the line. Lap 6 at Portimao, and Monkey Boy Kurt, you have to pick your poison because it is a dare for you, courtesy of Silver Boy.
It's not coming up on my comments for whatever reason. So what's the truth of this, sorry?
No, it's a dare for you. So he's got a plot. Silversea Boy is currently plotting his evil scheme of what he's gonna dare you.
Okay.
So we'll save that for after our sprint race. But in the meantime, we've still got a 3-car train. Brewmaster has dropped out the DRS. Button is just about holding on, but those softs are going to be screaming at him at some stage. Wizard of Oz still holds that 7/10 barrier, which, if I'm correct, is a slipstream barrier between himself and Reese's Pieces. That's now 6/10, starting to close down, but Reese's Pieces 22% battery. Wizard of Oz is on 14% battery, 1-4. So Reese's Pieces, albeit slightly, does have the battery advantage. But will it be a case of a last lap lunge from the McLaren, or is he thinking, I get the run out of turn 4, is this my chance to get past him? And the short answer is no, he's just a bit too far back into the hairpin. We'll jump back now to this fight here for 6th place. This is Jay Undisputed against the flow, and those worn softs on that McLaren are starting to pay Jay now up to 5th. And can he close that gap now to Brewmaster, who's now in a little bit of no man's land and kind of needs that DRS just to keep himself at a safe distance from that Williams, who looks to be closing quite a bit, and those tyres are going to be much, much fresher, Nick, with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. And also Button as well on the soft tyre. They're going to be falling off a cliff at this stage, but Reese's Pieces now, this is the chance he wants. He's 4 tenths back, and he's got 40. He's really using the overtake now. He's literally draining all of the batteries, trying to get as close as he possibly can. 2.5 tenths to the gap. The DRS is going to come on, and surely this will be, there we go, the fastest lap. The move for the lead of this sprint, but Wizard of Oz is trying to fight it out. And he tries to hold it around the outside and just about holds it there to Reese's Pieces. And he takes the lead on lap 8 of 11 of this sprint race. Now he just needs to try and hold on to it. But Wizard of Oz now has the DRS and the extra bit of battery. Will he come straight back as we go further down into the slow left-hander? Now he won't into turn 5. So Reese's Pieces now, this is his chance to try and gain a second lead. It's going to be quite difficult with the battery he's now got. He used a lot of it to get past on that lap. Wizard of Oz is staying very, very close, and sometimes it is easier to stay close to someone when you're behind them. You can just take their line and take their speed into the corners. You've got a good guidance. He even maybe had a look there on the outside, but definitely got cut off there. We can safely say one thing, and that's these two have definitely dropped Button. Button's not going to have any DRS advantage now. So I think it's definitely out of these two now for the win. They've also got to make sure they keep it within the white lines and don't get a 3-second penalty.
Tell you what, the Tattoo Star and Hush are having a right old tussle here for the final point as the Tattoo Star breaks a little bit deeper in towards turn 14. He gets this line shot back in Brewmaster, who does have front wind damage, colliding with the side of that Ferrari as we'll go for round 4 now between Reese's Pieces and Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz, he caught him up but just at the wrong time, and the sharpness that turn 1 has, it doesn't allow him to throw it up the inside, otherwise he will risk very much overshooting the corner. But Wizard of Oz knows he does have the advantage as we head to the closing stages. He does have the much fresher battery now, as I see Reese's Pieces is full management now, not using any battery through this middle sector, trying to claw some back in that defence towards turn 1. Wizard of Oz now can just sit in this slipstream in this DRS and charge his battery, no problem. But Button 2.5 seconds back, just keep a clean slate, he'll be on for a couple of points himself. Brewmaster Jay hasn't really caught up as quick as I thought he would. And there was Wizard of Oz looking for a move up towards turn 10. Reese's Pieces saw him coming, and with that, he goes wide himself, and that is everything in play now for Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, well, that's what he wanted to make him do, make the mistake, and that's what he's done. Wizard of Oz only has 1 warning to his name, so he can afford to go wide once more in these last 2 laps as we approach the line for lap 10. And yeah, Reese's Pieces, unless he can somehow pull 3 seconds, he's going to have no chance now. Wizard of Oz will stay in the DRS, and would he go for a move now as we go down into turn 1? He doesn't really have to now, he just needs to stay behind him. Keep it within the white lines, and I think he almost went wide there, but he did just about keep it in. It's looking like definitely Wizard of Oz's sprint race, but now Reese's Pieces will be wary, obviously, of Button behind him. If we're looking at the interval, it's 2.5 seconds from Button to Wizard of Oz. We're looking at the leader graphic, it's 2.9. So Reese's Pieces needs to try and pull a little bit more. Now he's up to 3 seconds. He'll keep second as it stands, but yeah, somehow he might even want to try and maybe let Wizard of Oz through, or try and make him go alongside and make him make a mistake potentially, go off the track, potentially get himself a penalty, or try to make him get himself a penalty to get him back into it.
Seeing these couple of little trios and duels in amongst the field. We've got Reese's Pieces and Wizard of Oz minding their own business. Button and Brewmaster having their own little fight for what could actually be second place. As there's Hirsch getting a penalty himself. Him and the Tattoo Star having a very good race themselves in terms of fighting. But all's fair in love and war. Hirsch is going to win that fight as it stands. But Sheriff Woody, despite having another penalty, is going to be safe from 8th place. And there goes Wizard of Oz. He doesn't need the penalties to go his way. He's going to make the move on this final lap and get into the lead in towards turn 1. This time he makes it stick. But is Button and even Brewmaster at that, are they going to be close enough to take second place away from the McLaren of Reese's Pieces, who's been in the top 2 very much since the off? As there goes Jay. He's going to catch up to Brewmaster, but he's just going to run out of time. Brewmaster has just enough tread in those tyres to see him over the line, and so will Button. Button looking to set now for third, as that gap is 2.9 between himself and the McLaren, but this middle sector is going to be heavy on the tyre wear. I think Reese's Pieces will have just enough in hand. It was Brewmaster using his battery, draining it, trying to catch up. As I see Button's actually very low in fuel there. Will he get to the line? I think he should be okay, unless he lifts some coaster in the final corner. But Reese's Pieces and Wizard of Oz, a preview to our main event. But in the opening rounds, it's going to be Wizard of Oz to take first blood, as around the final corner he goes, over and under the hill, rising over the crest, and rising to see the checkered flag welcome him home. And for the first time this season, it's not a Haas to take victory in our race, it's the Alpine of Wizard of Oz to take the sprint victory around the circuit Algrave. Reese's Pieces will take second place, a hard fought second, lost out though to penalties. Brewmaster in the end did get Button, because Button, I think, ran out of fuel on the run to the line. So he fell down to 5th, and Jay stole 4th on the line by 300ths of a second.
No, I don't think it was he ran out of fuel. I think he actually lost the back end, because I saw some grass pop up, some dirt, and that allowed Brewmaster to go through. So I think it was just he lost the back end getting into the final corner Button, and on the rundown, James was able to just catch him up just in the nick of time. So yeah, unfortunately, he drops from 3rd to 5th on the last lap, but it still picks up 4 points. But as you said, Cruiser, the first time we've seen not a Haas take victory this season in Tier 3. Wizard of Oz taking all 8 points this sprint.
I suppose we can technically say a Haas has been on the podium every race so far, since Brewmaster gets 3rd. You see too, Button in the 118s, and he was the only one to do that outside of the top 2. So let's see what the pace is in that RB as we head off to our main event qualifying, our main race qualifying, which, if I'm correct, is a 28 lap race, and this is going to shake things up. Monkey, how you doing qualifying?
Well, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to somehow end up retiring the car. I don't know how, but yeah.
What? Oh, hold on, wait a minute. We've introduced a new rule in FPRL that says every car on track has to drive at least 50% of the race before they retire.
Oh no! And also, it's wet. It's wet out there as well. I'd love to be out there on the Inters, but
yeah, you don't want to get your gloves wet. Mr. Nigel Piddle, can we give Monkey Boy Kurt a 5-place grid penalty for his event on Wednesday? Because he's going to technically break the rules twice.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be very nice, to be honest. But if you want,
it's Nigel though.
isn't it? Sure, that's
Jay
very
in the
true.
chat corrected me, saying it's a 33 lap race, not a 28 lap race. My bad. 5 more laps for you to suffer, and 5 more laps for me to suffer on Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh no, a retirement.
Oh, those bloomin' engine gremlins.
I know.
They played you anyone, and it's happened to you.
Exactly. Right. I need to now try and figure out is. Oh, okay. Zafia's game won't work, he's saying, so he's going to be out of this then. I wonder if we can get Destroyer in. Don't think we are. Speedy as well. I don't know what happened to Speedy. He was checked in, but he's not racing tonight, so I don't know what's happened to Speedy. Do you know, Cruiser?
That I don't know actually, as I do have got Wizard of Oz, where I'm fairly sure I had Destroyer as
I got
friend.
Destroyer.
Yeah, I do. I'll write Destroyer just in case. Is this showing he's offline?
Yeah, that's something. I haven't had any. Oh, hold on. We might have.
Let's see if I've got Speedy. I don't think I do actually. Shame on me.
Game on you. Oh, he is online.
Roll up. There you go. That might be why I was getting confused. Again, if you saw your name, give us a wave.
Might have Sophia now. He says he's online. I've sent him a game invite, so hopefully he can join. But yeah, Destroyer as well. Still showing offline.
So it turns out for Speedy B, this is going to be an interesting way to say he can't race. He doesn't have a PlayStation Plus membership.
Oh, okay.
This is why Xbox Ultimate is superior. As I tell you what, this track doesn't actually really look all that like wet. It's literally just a couple of specks of rain, and that is it. As Zero's Parsh really attacking turn 1. So what was pole time? Was a 16.6 for Wizard of Oz. So we'll use that as a comparison compared to what, just for reference, is what Herschel set for his first run. But I wonder if we're due for any heavier rain. This is why we see quite a few drivers actually out already for their laps. The only ones yet to set their lap is Sheriff Woody and Button. Zafir, I think, is kind of... and he's out of it, really. Just once again, the machinery has played the driver, and it's now decided, Aston Martin, it's your turn. And funnily enough, they've been played by Lance Stroll all season, so it's just got even worse. Say Boy asking if you have seen the dare that you have offered him, and I think the answer is no.
Nope, I have not. I'm intrigued to now know what it is.
Well, you've got to get the reins for the opening lap in the Multi-Boy Kart, because Silverside Boy has dared you to do the Shaggy Rogers voice from Scooby-Doo for the entire opening lap.
For God's sake.
As you can tell, he is very happy about that. Mr. Silverside Boy, thank you very much. And although an invalidated lap, a 26.4, so that's 10 seconds slower than we've seen in well, hell, I made that 9 seconds, as Reese's Pieces picks up where he left off and is on a 25.5, but still 9 seconds. That is the equivalent of a calendar in Formula 1 terms.
Oh, sorry, I'm just eating the end of my carbonara. It is very nice, to be fair.
Nice. This is a Tattoo Star, 26.1, and he'll be happy with that. His room for improvement as a Brewmaster. That might be the sign of a higher downforce setup. That might actually be why we've seen a couple of drivers even start on the softs, and even why Jay started on the hards. Just get them out of the way, because they might have been playing a bit of a longer strategy here. Just take the hit in the sprint ahead of the main race, because the tyre allocations, I'm fairly sure you get one set of hard tyres across both races. So Jace took the hit, and I think now we know why.
Yeah, potentially. I think that's probably the reason, as Wizard of Oz goes up to P2 with a 25.2. It's the same three that were on the podium, just in a different order at the front. With still 12 laps to go, 12 minutes to go. So a long time yet for this rain to potentially get better or worse. This might be the best runs that they can come up with. So Let's see who else coming around. Here comes Jay. What's Jay going to do? And he goes up to P4. We literally got the same order here, Cruiser. We're going to have Button go up to P5.
Give or take the same order, really. Because the flow's not that far behind Jay himself, and there's a Tattoo Star and David in their own little duo. And Hirsch is really having a torrid time. And the one thing about Portimao is if you invalidate this corner, which Sheriff Woody is going through, even the penultimate corner, because the last corner isn't really a corner, it's just, how do I say it, it's just literally a faint right-hander, despite how aggressive it looks in the tyres. If Sheriff Woody does a 25.8, if you invalidate the exit of that penultimate corner, your lap is scrapped for the following lap. It's not like Canada where you invalidate the final chicane, it's scrapped. It's literally a full corner before the finish line that your lap is invalid for the next tour. So Hirsch doing that, that's now 3 laps he's going to do on these inters. And still, let's jump over the Ferrari. The track, it still doesn't look wet enough for inters, but also not dry enough for slicks. This is properly at the crossover point, but I think because of the fact we're not, as you see Sheriff Woody sliding there, attacking turn 8, it's the fact that there's no DRS active. It says it's a wet track, but it doesn't look like it from here.
Yeah, it's definitely on the calf. It's like last week when the rain came down in Vegas in Tier 3 at the end. Oh, and Sheriff Woody is literally sliding around these corners. That was an absolute almighty drift. Now, I just want to see if that's lost him time, because he really attacked that corner. But, yeah, like I say, it's just at that point where... Oh, look at this! He's literally... I'll tell you what, if he goes quicker, then fair play to him, because he's really attacked this. Oh, he's just a bit down, but that fair play to him. He really had a go there. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure they could come out on a set of dry tyres. They probably wouldn't be that much slower, to be honest. Maybe a second or two. So it is very close. It just depends whether or not which way it's going to go, or if it's just going to stay the same constant level of rain. Baton is now out on his out lap. And Hirsch is back in the pits. He hasn't set a time yet. We got anyone else coming up to the line? The flow is invalidated. Jay's invalidated. The only two we've got out on track is the Tattooed Star, who's down by 8 temps. So maybe the track's getting a bit worse. I mean, I'm not too sure, but we'll probably find out when Button comes along the line and sets his first flying lap. We'll probably know then what condition the track's in.
Just see how aggressive, and this is what I mean now. David and Hirsch have said they're thinking about the softs, they're thinking about it. But it is very much 50-50, I think, from the commentary box. As jump down towards Button, he's out on inters, and it looks like he's managing us a little bit better, but I think it is one lap on these inters and then they're scrapped, really, or rather they are trashed. Just, we see how much sliding the Ferraris have had, but that might just be the setup. We don't know. We're still in a bit of an unknown as we're into the second half of our qualifying session. We got 8 minutes and 32 seconds left to go, as we're going to see Button head to the line for his first run in this main qualifying session. And what can the RB do? Qualified up in, was in the top 5 throughout the sprint, dropped down to said 5th place at the run to the line. So want to make a bit of an amends to that, and with Destroyer still not here, it's an open goal for the likes of Reese's Pieces, Wizard of Oz, Brewmaster and Button to take a giant chunk out of that championship lead, which was reinstated around Vegas, as now towards turn 5 for Button, doing quite well. Just keep it facing forwards, as there is Wizard of Oz keeping out of the way of the flying RB. Wizard of Oz up in second now, 25-2. And I think Button's looking for around maybe a 25-4 just to get that benchmark in. But I still see that David is actually going for it on a set of softs. So keep an eye on him as he's about to begin his main lap in just a few moments. Button now through sector 2, attacking that inside curb, and there's a purple sector 2 for the RB driver. And this is looking good. Just a couple of corners left to go, and in this final run to the line for our capital candidate is a little bit slow in towards the entry the penultimate corner, and now turn 14, the final run to the line. How much sliding he does in that final corner. It is desperate to catch him out, but he just about holds on, and with that slide, it's going to put him down in 6th place behind the flow. All that time he made up, lost by that final corner, and he's not the first one to suffer from that.
No, he wasn't, and Jay was 6/10 up through Sector 2, so he would have gone pole, but he invalidated, so I think the time is still there to be found. Here comes the flow. He's going to be the next driver to cross the line on a lap, as we see David Loleface now attack this lap on the soft tyres. It'll be very interesting to see what David does, and everyone's going to be watching to see if he's going to go any quicker than the Inters. Here comes the flow, and this looks very quick. This could be pole, potentially. It is. It's a 24.8. And does that mean that the track's getting a little tiny bit drier? Let's see what David Loleface is doing through Sector 1. And he is a 10th and a bit down, so maybe it is just about Inters, but he's still got 2 sectors of this lap to go. And just try and see on board how well he's getting on the acceleration out of corners, because that's where you can really tell what the track is. And like you say, Cruiser, it's not really... you can't really tell if it's Inters or dries, to be honest. I mean, Sheriff Woody's now switched to softs. Tattooed Star's now switched to softs in the box. Now, here comes David now through Sector 2, and he has invalidated there. And, yeah, he was a 2.5 down, so it's going to be very difficult to tell. Here comes Button. Is he going to go again? No, he's going to go one more time. Let's see what Wizard of Oz is in the box. And the flow, 3 seconds down. You also see Jay out on an out lap. He's come out on another set of Inters. So some people going for Inters, some people going for softs. But will David say, no, it's too wet, I'm going back on Inters? I suspect he will do. The other two now, the other 2 Ferraris have switched back to Inters. So maybe they've seen David and thought, no, Inters is the best tyre for now.
This might just be a final, 2 minutes before you make up your decision. And we see Button just about keep it in boundaries there. Really going for it on this lap. Getting a feel for it on their first run. Purple Sector 1, I believe, up by 3/10 as up to the top of turn 10 and then tightens in towards turn 11. Let's see what that split is. Time now for Button. It is half a second up. So this will put him up towards a 25.2. Needs a little bit more as we head around the final few corners. And as you said, the flow with a fantastic effort to go on a 24.8. So far, that's even, say, close to the 24s. Granted, Brewmaster's on a 25.1, but still 4/10 is quite the distance, especially in qualifying. Is now Button, the short run to the line. Is he going to break in 24s? Yes, he is. He breaks into it and snatches pole away from the flow. 4 minutes to go, and Button's now in prime position.
Yeah, and I think he just about get around. It's going to be very tight, but I think he can maybe just get around. If he gets a move on, he might just about be able to come out and get one more lap in it. It'll be very, very tight. Obviously, 26, so he's got about a minute to the pit lane, 2 minutes 30, and we've got a 1 minute 24. Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight. He might get out for another run, but we're going to see now everyone else be coming out. Here's Jay. Jay's 3/10 down on this lap, and I think he's turned the battery off. He's going to go again with 3 minutes to go. Starting their lap now is the Tattooed Star. No, the Tattooed Star's back in the pits. So, not sure on that one. And he's on fresh tyres as well. So, not sure what... Maybe he's going to say, screw it, I'm going to go for softs with 3 minutes to go, potentially. Jay's also into the pits as well.
Well, I suppose in a way, the Tattoo Star has nothing to lose, neither does Jay. So, why not roll the dice? See what happens, because Brewmaster's going for it. And that rain actually does look a lot lighter than what it was about 2 minutes ago. If we see DRS activated on these softs, Brewmaster has played an absolute blinder to get in that position. Tattoo Stars went for softs as well, and I imagine Jay will also in just a few seconds. The Flows went for their outlap on Inters. David's on their outlap on Inters. But will they have enough? I don't think Flow have enough time to get back. David maybe, but but he's going to be cutting this ever so fine to get back in time, as that rain is actually really starting to lighten off, and it's almost stopped. As we'll jump down towards David. David is on the outlap. He's got 2 minutes to go, and I think David is committed. He's going to go for it here as David. So he's now all in
DRS
on this
enabled.
lap, and DRS is enabled as Rumaster's lost it. Going around turn 10 as Reese's Pieces now goes on pole. The track is starting to dry, and Rumaster frantically trying to heat up these tyres. He's got 1:40 left to play with. This is going to be his only lap. Can Rumaster snatch it from Reese's Pieces now? He's got 6/10 over Button.
Yeah, well, it stops. The rain has stopped, and here we go then. So Rumaster's going to start his lap. He's got 1 minute. He's probably going to have one go at this. The track won't improve that much, so he'll get two. So Rumaster starts his lap. Wizard of Oz will start his lap. Well, we will get around, but he's going to start on an Intezol. I don't think that's going to be the right call here. Jay will get around just about. And the Tattoo Star, there goes Button.
Rumaster went wide on turn 1.
Yeah, and Hirsch went up to third.
Sheriff Woody does that now!
Yeah, this is going to be the soft runners. They're going to be first, second and third, providing they don't screw their laps up. So we've got 50 seconds for them to get around. And, yeah, the Tattoo Star come around the final corner, so he will get a lap in. And Jay has got 40 seconds to get around from where he is. He will also get a lap in. I think Jay has got the biggest chance here of getting on pole. He will come across the line last of the three soft runners, which will mean he'll have the most. Yeah, there's Button. There's David Lowface up to third place now. This is a drying track. This is going to be last person across the line, and I think it's going to be probably Jay, providing he doesn't screw it up, as he will be the last soft runner across.
We'll see what Rumaster can do. He's only up by 6/10, so I think he might have pulled the trigger a little bit too soon, as Jay is over the line with 5 seconds to go. He will get his lap time on the board, as the flow does a 22.4. These times are tumbling around this track. Rumaster is not going to do it. He's going to go at best third. There's Hirsch behind him up to 4th. He'll be well happy with that. As there's a yellow flag in set to 1. That is an Alpine Oz. Wizard of Oz is done. He took pole in the sprint. It's now going to be at worst 10th place maybe for the Alpine driver. As it was Jay around set to 1 and the Tattoo Star. These two have the best chance here for pole, but what about everyone else? Reese's Pieces is giving it everything he can to the end. He's up by 8/10. David is going again, but I don't think he's going to improve too much. Wizard of Oz, as we said, is done. So now,
sorry, I'm just going to come in quickly. I don't
we'll
think Tattoo Star had his battery on the whole lap. He's only just realised now and stuck it on overtake, and I think that's cost him.
He's got everything he can to the line. He's still third though, we'd be happy with that, but that is an open door now for Jay. David doesn't improve, he stays 7th. Reese's Pieces goes second. This is a McLaren front row. But I think Jay's got other plans for that. He's up by 2 seconds. And this final run to the line, if he can nail this crest, indeed he does, this might just be Jay taking pole position. He had the golden touch around the stage. And it's going to be pole position for the Williams. Jay undisputed, very much undisputed performance and a perfect strategy. Pole position for tonight's Tier 3 Portuguese Grand Prix. But the McLarens, 2nd and 3rd for them, and the Ferraris 4th and 5th. A shook up grid. This could be a very intriguing race to unfold.
I think it will be, and yeah, Tattoo Star didn't have his, like I say, didn't have his battery on for most of the lap, and I think that really affected him. It wasn't even like it was on medium, it was on none until that last corner, last straight. So probably could have gained at least another second there. He probably could have been on the front row potentially. I don't think no one would have beaten Jay though. Like I say, he was last across the line on those soft tyres, and I think it was always when he got to that stage that he was going to take pole position, and he kept his cool, kept it within the white lines, and he finds himself on pole position for this feature race. And Jay has got some pace. We saw it last week out in Las Vegas. He almost took the win there, so hopefully for him, will he be taking the win tonight is the question.
I wonder what that will do for him in this championship, because he picked up 4th around here, and you see already the 3 soft runners. Jay timed it right. As we'll have a look. Rumaster says himself he had the right tyre but the wrong time. It does be like that sometimes as well. Have a quick look at our championship standings. Destroyer leads in 76. Brewmaster could mathematically catch him, but he's got to win and take the championship lead. Button could mathematically catch as well, but he's also got to win. There's still a chance that Destroyer will lead the championship heading into the second half of the season, but there's a few drivers who will very much close that gap, because that was 28 points at the start of this evening. It's going to be a much narrower gap, but by how much will it be narrowed? As we head to the grid, bright sunny sunshine. So it looks like the qualifying was a bit of a red herring.
Oh, yes. Yes. I can get out of my thingy because I've got to drive around the first lap to then retire the car.
Yep. You don't want to drop the commentator's headset for like 2 seconds. Oh well. Yeah, a bit of a break from the rambling Scotsman. I'll change my avatar to that. The rambling Scotsman. Have that. We've either a flying Scotsman, but trust me, there's only one express in this league, and that's the fish train.
Yes, indeed. That is indeed. So it's going to be Destroyer isn't going to get in, and Zafir doesn't look like he's going to get in. So we're going to have a 10-man race. So I mean, they've made quali quite interesting. So hopefully they will also make the race interesting. And I think also, we've got Wizard of Oz down in 10th. We've got Button down in 8th. 2 very fast drivers. Will try and make their way through the field. So I think we're going to be in for a good one here. And Sheriff Woody is sort of... Everyone's got to remember that he won the first race of last season, and we did think he was going to be right up there for the title. And they never really seemed to get a decent finish after that. But hopefully for him today, maybe today he can have a good one. Starting in P4. Also depends on how well you get off the line can be a good indicator. As also, we're seeing a lot of drivers, as I can see, switching tyres here. Bit of a good split, actually, I have to say, amongst the field.
We'll find out soon enough what that split is, as Doddle's joined me. Yep, and just joined me right in my face. Don't worry, we got 33 laps of racing, Doddle. You'll be happy. Yep. Thank you very much. You want to say hello? No? Cruise the Doddle, everyone. And he gives us a little boop to the microphone. Lovely. And should say too, another rule we've introduced for this season is the formation laps are strapped. If you are new to the league, formation laps, we just felt like they weren't working as intended in terms of tyre warm-up. So we decided, you know what? Ice Age. Let's just have everyone start on freezing cold tyres, because at least it's a level playing field then. But we have also extended the interval between qualifying sessions to our races. So, a bit of a longer pause in the action, but more time to reflect. And on that note, Monkey Boy Chart, what do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about who's going to replace Gary Lineker?
Yeah, Gary Lineker leaving match today again, but I don't know. Like, I mean, does anyone really care for the panel anyway? That's my question. Does anyone really care for the panel? They just go watch the highlights.
Well, I mean, they said it. They said 6 months ago it was going to be Genius, but he was too busy securing the coin, and then he got stabbed.
The Bosh.
The Bosh.
As one does. As Doddle's decided it's playtime. Yep. Thank you. Monkey Boy Trout, you forget you got to do the Scooby-Doo impersonations for the opening lap. So that's
this is going to be very difficult. This is going to be well. Actually, I feel like Gary has actually
he saved you.
Done me off. Well, no, also because I'm supposed to choose what I want. Truth or dare. You can't just give me one.
Oh yeah,
so,
true.
Exactly. So, I don't mind doing a little bit as we get off the get 5 lights.
That we do. So while you switch out the headset for a helmet, we've got 5 lights ahead of our drivers, and we're away for the second time tonight around Portugal.
Zoinks!
And this time, yep, indeed, Zoinks! Run, Stu! As there was multi-boy Kurt in the background. There's Jay challenging David, but losing out to the start. And there goes the Ferraris and holding on to 4th and 5th, but exchanging places themselves as Davis keeps it clean towards turn 1. Jay Undisputed has bolted from the McLarens and the Ferraris. 1.2 seconds already. We're not even through the first sector. As there goes Reese's Pieces making the move on the flow. Thinks better though, and instead Constantine is behind to Sheriff Woody and the Tattoo Star. Rootmaster holds 6th with Hirsch, Button, David and Wizard of Oz in 10th, having a poor start, falling back behind the Mercedes. Jay doing what he's had to do though to survive the opening exchanges. He could get a telemetry up, be professional. There we go. As I see a couple of drivers on softs, Hirsch and Zafir technically not in this race, but Hirsch on the softs down in 7th. And then those Reese's Pieces and Sheriff Woody battling away. Reese's Pieces starting on the hards along with David and Wizard of Oz. Everyone else is on medium tyres. Button having a bit of a poor start though, down in 8th. And has not really made the gains he's wanted to on this opening lap, which so far no one has. They've all maintained position as Jay Undisputed leads the opening lap by 1.4 seconds over the flow, and his teammate Reese's Pieces giving a bit of a headache now to the Ferrari of Sheriff Woody, as now in towards turn 1. Jump on board with the Ferrari of Sheriff Woody as Monkey Boy Kurt. That is criminal from you. As in towards turn 1, Reese's Pieces holds on and Sheriff Woody gets, I believe that might be his first track limit warning already, and we're not even on lap 2 yet. So he's got to be careful of that, because that's what played them in the sprint. He's got to keep them to a minimal in the main race. As come on, get the helmet, get the headset on quick.
Yeah, the headset's on, fuck's sake. Right. Yeah, you really got to watch the.
You should have seen him. Should have seen him getting out of the race suit, immediately putting the tie on, and then just literally chucked the helmet at me in frustration. Dodged the bullet there.
Literally. Yeah. I was like, "Where's my microphone?" Right. Anyway, we've really got you really got to make sure that you stay within the white lines around here. Like I said in the sprint, going through turn 1, turn 2, that's where you really can pick up some warnings. So we've got 33 laps now rather than 11, so they've really got to be careful throughout this race. But Jay, 1.3 seconds ahead of the flow. He has not got to worry about DRS, as the flow is using a bit of that battery. Now I think the flow actually is probably used a bit too much for this stage of the race. He's already down to 16%.
Not as much as Reese's Pieces. It's on 25, and Sheriff Woody using every ounce of that to slingshot ahead of one of the McLarens, and is now in between them both. The flow now in second, Sheriff Woody now in third, but immediately within DRS range of the second McLaren. A Tattoo Star holding on just about to Reese's Pieces as we see the tyre smoke from the Ferrari. Apparently they patched that as of today, the 11th of November, saying it won't be as present, well, certainly has been present throughout the replay cameras. That is a given, as the flow gives a little smoke screen himself to Sheriff Woody. Meanwhile, we noticed this as well as we were keeping an eye on the fight for third place. We've got our own little fight now for 6th place involving Hirsch, Brewmaster and Button, as there's some sparks there from the Sauber. Hirsch holding on to 6th place, but still a little bit back from the Tattoo Star, and it seems to be, I think, as good as it's going to be for Hirsch. But Brewmaster has some end plate damage, and that is a terrible start for him, down in 7th and nursing that damaged car.
It is indeed, as Jay Undisputed. No he doesn't. Sheriff Woody goes fastest. Sheriff Woody's having a good start here, up to P3. He's right behind the flow now, and he can stay behind him through turns 1, 2 and 3. Maybe on the exit of turn 4 he can have a go and try and overtake for P2 as we go down the hill to the left hand for turn 5. Here he goes, and yep, he's got a lot of speed here. He's using a bit of his battery. He's going to try and make a dive, and he does. He's up to P2, but the flow has got the better traction out of the corner and takes the place back. But Sheriff Woody giving all he can here in the early stages, and seems to be, after 4 laps or 3.5 laps, having a pretty solid race. But still ages to go yet. But I mean, Jay will like some fighting. Obviously, it allows him to pull away a bit more. 1.7 seconds now he's ahead. As we also see in the background, Remaster trying to make a move on Hirsch, but as you said, he's got some end plate damage. That's going to affect Remaster as well.
So that and Button and Wizard of Oz, they're all caught up now behind that Sauber, and that's just allowing this top 5, especially Jay, just to run away and scamper off. 1.6 seconds, but to be fair to the Flow, despite that lack of battery, he's doing enough just to keep that gap stable at 1.5 seconds. He's not letting Jay run off. But Sheriff Woody is closing him down very much, trying to lasso into second place. Not quite, as the Flow holds on. Reese's Pieces are 1 second behind the Ferrari and is starting to look behind him towards the Tattoo Star, but Reese's Pieces again is started on the hards. We're on lap 5 at Portimao, and Sheriff Woody didn't make it work in the first time round. He's looking for it second time round as the Flow takes his line. Sheriff Woody breaks that a little bit deeper and compromises him, but maybe looking for a slingshot up towards the devious turn 8 as there's Brewmaster losing 2 places at once and getting a 3-second penalty for his troubles. Now down in 9th place and the first driver of the evening to get a penalty in our main race. So Brewmaster trying to make that 5 Grand Prix wins in a row for Haas has got that little bit more difficult, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to be what he would have wanted in the first 5 laps. Wing damage and a penalty. Down to P9 as well. Maybe he'll be thinking, I need to go and get this changed. It's really affecting the race so far. But he might decide to try and stick potentially within DRS. But he's already out of it now with Wizard of Oz. I would probably say just come in and box, get in some fresh track, and maybe get with some better tyres. And yep, that is what he's going to do.
Microphone's unmuted. There we go. As it's just following the Tattoo Star here, as Hirsch has now got Button all over the back of him, and I think Button's want to make that move as quickly as possible. Wizard of Oz in 8th, David holding his own in 9th, and Brewmaster indeed is suffering. As we see Tattoo Star look for the move on Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces gave him room, and on the exit, that's why the McLaren gave him space, looking for the slingshot. But the Tattoo Star using some of that battery and is up now ahead of the other McLaren and is up to 4th place at 2.1 seconds though behind his teammate, who started to get a little bit frustrated, I think, behind the Flow, and Jay is slowly but surely eking that gap by like a couple of tenths a lap. It was 1.5, now 2 seconds between the Williams and the McLaren, and somewhat of a redemption drive really for the Flow. He's missed these performances as of late. And I think now, to be up in 2nd place, and with the likes of Button and Wizard of Oz held back in 7th and 8th, this is very much a performance that he would need to just get a little bit of confidence back, which I think has been a little bit, it's been a little bit lost amongst the McLaren driver since his move to the team. Does that remind you of someone? As there was one McLaren, getting the place back in the Ferrari, as there's those Reese's Pieces, getting his own little redemption arc against the Tattoo Star, lost the place in the opening on the prior lap, and on lap 7, back up to 4th place.
Yeah, and Sheriff Woody might now be up to 2nd. He's going to have another go at the Flow, down into the down 5, and this time he breaks that a little bit later, but the Flow sticks it around the outside and once again gets the traction, and he stays ahead yet again, but once again as well, 2.2 seconds now the gap to Jay. Jay is loving this. He really wants them to keep fighting. And the more they do it, the more he can pull away. So, Sheriff Woody, I think maybe Sheriff Woody needs to try and get past on the main straight. Rather, and the Flow almost loses it there. Gets on the curb. And Sheriff Woody's going to go for the move now. I don't think that's the right decision, because now it will give the Flow the DRS. And they're banging wheels a little bit. Now the Flow's back ahead. And I think the DRS will now go back to... I think Sheriff Woody's going to get the DRS. He will. He was behind at the line. So now Sheriff Woody surely now will take P2 going down to turn 1. The DRS opened. And this is going to be P2 for the Ferrari. It is. But how long can he stay there? The Flow will short... and the Flow's gone wide there as well. That'll be a warning. So the Flow getting a little bit out of shape. Sheriff Woody definitely having a great start to this race, up to P2 now. Does he have the pace now to try and get after Jay? 2.8 seconds is now the gap. Will we see that come down?
That gap was 1.5 before that fighting on that lap. as we'll get back our telemetry. I'm trying to do a little bit more of a shaped up camera, whatever you want to call it. Just wipe the whole screen so we can actually focus on the action, but that does come at a cost. Meanwhile, Hirsch and Button still having their own little fight, and Hirsch is doing more than enough to just frustrate those behind him as the camera pans over to nothing but a beautiful blue skies. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. Brewmaster compounding the evening for the Haas team. I suppose I think the 4-leaf clover lucked out of 4 races, and that has now become very much a bad luck charm, as there was Hirsch still holding on to this 6th place over Button, but starting on the softs. His pit window will be approaching very, very shortly, as the Flow looking for his return to Sheriff Woody and his receipt from the prior lap. Whatever battery he's got left, it's just enough to get ahead and get in front in towards turn 1. The Flow back at the 2nd place, and will jump now to this fight for 6th. Button's been behind Hirsch for most of this race, and finally on lap 9 he has dispatched that Sauber, who in turn does a little Tokyo drift around turn 1. But Button finally unleashed up to 6th place, and has got a 5-second gap to close up to the Tattoo Star, as it was Sheriff Woody and the Flow again having their own little fight. And Jay is probably the best man, he's loving life right now around this track. 3.5 seconds clear, as I think Hirsch has made a mistake around turn 4 we saw on the minimap, and has now dropped down behind Wizard of Oz and David. Hirsch, I think those soft tyres have said, you're kidding me, not one more lap. I think this is his pit window here.
Yeah, I would think so too. They don't last that long around here, and yeah, when we saw the guys that were using them in the sprint, they really started to fall off a cliff around this time. But yeah, potentially I can see him come in now. He's almost out of DRS of David, so I reckon it's probably the right time. Jay, on the other hand, 3.8 seconds. He's loving life at the front, and the Flow here is going to go straight back past Sheriff Woody. It's going to be another swap of position, and it's not as easy as I thought there. I thought the Flow would have got through a lot easier there, but not as. He's on wide again. Oh, and it's Sheriff Woody. Oh, it goes back through into turn 2. That will give the Flow, however, the DRS going down towards turn 5, but the Wizard of Oz gets a 3-second penalty. Yeah, that was a little bit wide there from the Flow. Opened it up again. I'm just going to quickly see how many wheel warnings he's got now, because I think probably a couple. Nope. Surprisingly enough, he didn't get a warning there. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised at that, because he definitely went wide of the white lines.
I wonder if the FIAs took a bit of leniency. If you launch it, and I mean launch it over that sausage curb, then you've got nowhere to go. There's only one way you're going, and that is to the left. As Sheriff Woody, 4.1 seconds now behind Jay. And Jay's now, he's getting in that rhythm which you need around tracks like this. Just get in the groove of the track and very much stretch that lead, because as, I tell you what though, I'm loving this fight here for 2nd place, involving 2 different constructors. Monaco flashbacks, I think. Sheriff Woody, of course, being the Charles Leclerc and all this ahead of the field. As Jay ticks over to lap 10, he's got a lead of 4.6 seconds over Sheriff Woody at the Flow. And Edo's Reese's Pieces, he's been biding his time for a couple of laps and is now making a move on his teammate in towards turn 1. The Flow saw him, he was there, and Reese's Pieces, they've come together, and the Flow has lost the front right end plate himself, and the Tattoo Star says, thank you very much, Civil War, I'm up to 4th place.
Yeah, not ideal what you want from teammates, and the Flow now has wing damage. Well, does he stay out is the question. He's not going to have a lot of grip. He's already dropping sort of 7 tenths back to Tattooed Star. Yeah, the lap it is, lap 11. Could you take Hard's 22? Probably could, but they're not going to be great come the end. So, but you know, with that damage, you might as well come in or gamble on a safety car potentially, and then get it fixed in that period. But it doesn't look like we're going to have any signs of seeing that at the moment. And let's see that. Oh, is he disconnected? No, I just saw his car disappear, but no, it seems to be fine. Jay now 5 seconds in the lead. He is loving it even more. He's really getting a really big advantage as the Flow does come into the pits. and that will be him onto the hard tyres most likely, and a new wing. Button goes up to 5th, and Sheriff Woody now. These hard tyres, they're really coming into their prime now, as Hirsch gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he's also going to get off those soft tyres. But yeah, Reese's Pieces now looking like a man that can actually go on a bit of a charge.
Certainly trying to, but he's got to make up 5.5 seconds to even get within range of Jay, as he's still behind Sheriff Woody, like he has been since lap 3. We're on lap 12 now, and these hard tyres are starting to come into their own. They are definitely the better preferred tyre, and that's why you see the likes of Wizard of Oz keeping up now with Button, and David still holding his own in 7th place. Somehow Zephyr's AI car has went further than Hirsch on softs, and he's still on 11 lap old softs. Don't know how that car still has 4 tyres that are actually inflated at that stage, but kudos, it's doing its job. As there goes Reese's Pieces pushing Sheriff Woody and forcing him on, saying, hurry up, I want to get the overtake quite quickly here. As there goes the Ferrari, hugging the right hand side, saying, I'm going into the pits, and Reese's Pieces using every ounce of slipstream he can to slingshot himself into clear air, and is now a 5.2 second gap between himself and Jay. And if he can get within 2-3 seconds maybe, the undercut is there for the McLaren, or rather the overcut, as he is doing the opposite of Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a bit early, but it's a good play, I reckon. It's a good gamble, potentially, from Sheriff Woody, try and get the undercut on Jay. But will Jay react straight away? If he does, it probably hasn't been worth it too much. But we'll have to wait and see about that. I think Jay's going to just try and stay out as long as he can, and try and continue to raise the gap to Reese's Pieces. But I think those hard tyres are probably just a little bit better at the moment. This Tattooed Star in 3rd position. He's not really being threatened by anyone at the moment. He's got 3 seconds ahead of him and 3 seconds behind him, so I think he's in a comfortable spot. The Wizard of Oz obviously started very far down and now has got a penalty to his name, so he's not having the best feature race, obviously, after his sprint race win. But no, Jay does go round again. Obviously, Reese's Pieces will go round again. Will we see the other Ferrari come in of the Tattooed Star? No, we won't. He's going to carry on. And Button, once again, will also carry on. So it'd be interesting to see now what the gap is between Jay and Sheriff Woody, and if that's going to come down or not. I think I might actually pay attention to that over the next couple of laps.
I think we all will pay attention to that, because that gap currently 30.3 seconds between the Ferrari of Sheriff Woody in 7th place, and has 10 seconds of clear air in front of him, as Zephyr's AI car has finally decided 13 laps on softs is enough, as the flow's actually put for softs as well. That has to be a mistake for the McLaren driver. Like, frantically switching his tyres, I think he's went one slot too far to the left. As we see Jay just carrying on, minding his own business. That gap though has come down by a couple of tenths, not much, compared to the Williams and the McLaren. But Jay, you've seen, just managing his battery. He's above 80%, Reese's Pieces is above 40%, now just about half battery. But I tell you what, the Tattooed Star, the unsung hero so far, he's been consistent throughout his tenure in FPRL, and is still maintaining that 3 second gap over Button. He's doing more than enough to at least get my vote for driver of the day, but I suppose that's something to consider. And I'll throw us out a Twitch chat. While you're here watching this race, who do you think will be driver of the day? We'll leave you a little comment in there, and we'll take some suggestions for the end, but ultimately the main vote is down to Mr. Monkey Boy Kurt. As he are starting lap 15 at Portimao. Jay, Reese's Pieces and Tattooed Star, the 1-2-3. Button started in 8th, is now down in 4th. He's up in 4th, made up a couple of places himself, but has got Wizard of Oz very much all over the back of that RB gearbox. Wizard of Oz on the hard, but is on a 3 second penalty too, whereas Button is on a clean slate. And that gap actually between Jay and Sheriff Woody, shockingly, has actually went up by a couple of tenths. I don't know if this warm-up here for the hards is very much struggling to rubber in, as the flow compounds his evening, is now 35 seconds behind the leader and on a 3 second penalty.
Yeah, that's not good for the Sheriff Woody, because Reese's Pieces is actually catching Jay, so if actually he's not getting an undercut on Jay, he's not getting an undercut on Reese's Pieces either, so he's not really gaining anything. And those tyres are only going to get, obviously, they're only going to wear more and more. So, yeah, it's not going as he would want at the moment, Sheriff Woody. He really needs to try and almost find another level on those hards to try and get some more time off on Jay, because Jay's just going to come in, when he feels like it. I mean, at the moment, he doesn't even need to pit. He's dropping a bit now to Reese's Pieces, but as it stands, he doesn't really need to do a lot at the moment. I don't know about you, Cruiser. Do you think it's getting a little bit darker out there?
It's definitely looking darker. Might actually be why the likes of Jay and Button and the Tattoo Star have extended the stint. But saying that, Reese's Pieces is now starting to catch up to Jay. That gap now 4.1 seconds, and at one stage it was around 5.5. So he's definitely doing his bit, is Reese's Pieces, starting to catch up to our leader Jay, who's been that way since the off. And on lap 16, half race distance, it's so far looking all up from here for Jay, and indeed making up a lot of time and places in this championship. As Destroyer has tuned in to join us, the Even Destroyer, saying that there was an accident on their way home and has missed the race because of it. I suppose it does happen. And asking where did Button and Brewmaster finish in the sprint? Brewmaster finished in P3, Button P5. And as it is on lap 17, you can kind of tell who has and who hasn't pitted yet, as Sheriff Woody downwards have, the top 6 have not, as Wizard of Oz now sized up a move here on Button, using that DRS, but not much battery to help his cause, and Button still holds on towards turn 1. Oh, no, that's a nightmare for the pair of them. Wizard of Oz and Button have come together, and speared, is no other word for it, was the RB, as there's a safety car because of that. And I wonder actually if Wizard of Oz had a disconnect because he went straight on into the barrier. I think Button might have actually been what's the term here? A victim of something he couldn't. Certainly. Oh, I'm just gonna trip over my tongue here. Button was rammed up the rear. There's your quote.
That's one way of putting it. Yes. So, safety car then. That means that everyone from, well, the top 5 now, obviously it was Wizard of Oz, but the top 5 will all pit. That will be, I mean, really, the medium runners are going to have this better, because obviously the hards will go for longer, but you'll still see Reese's Pieces and David come into the pits. And none of them should get held up, because we haven't got teammates in the top 5, so everyone should be fine. Here they come then. Here comes Jay. First of all, this will be hard tyres, surely.
No,
it's soft.
Softs.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's strange.
Unless he knows that rain's going to come near the end.
Reese's Pieces went medium. The Tattoo Stars went inters. This is the strategy that wins you races.
Go on, Tattoo Star. David stayed out.
With reason, honestly. He's got reason to, so is Button. Sheriff Woody stays out. And the Tattoo Star will be out in 6th, but feather those tyres. Treat them like a newborn child is all I'm going to say. Take tender love and care for these intermediate tyres. The flow stayed out. Wizard of Oz is pitted. Is this for inters? Certainly for a new front wing, and it's mediums. Obviously, no offence to Fear is a bit irrelevant, because they've been AI most of the race. Brewmaster will pit, but Hirsch did pit and is on mediums. So what will the Haas do? He's had a bit of a nightmare race throughout this whole event, and Silverside Boy has said, "Oh no, what happened to Monkey Boy Kurt?" I
just threw it in the barrier, Gary. Actually,
Brewmasters went for mediums. So there's the man in P6. There's your odd one out.
I don't know about this. He's got to really think that it's going to rain in the next 5 minutes, and he's probably had it on the radio that it is going to rain, but we can't see any rain yet. So it's really going to have to come down quickly in the next sort of a minute, 30 seconds, because I reckon everyone's going to be caught up by the next lap probably. We'll have one more lap behind the safety car and then we'll be going again. I mean, Jade is going to just disappear. Because Reese's Pieces, I mean, he'll probably will make it easy work of David and Button, but still, he's on the soft tyres, he will literally disappear. And that's the only thing I can think of is why he's gone to softs. Is it is going to rain, but maybe not quite yet. Now we're seeing, obviously, another lap go by with no rain.
There's your answer. It's raining.
There's the rain. Now, as Tattooed Star played a master stroke, I know what this feels like to do. Back a few years ago at Mexico, and it is a really good feeling when you get it exactly right. So he will be hoping.
If I'm correct, you got a podium from this.
I got a win from this.
Even better. But there's your answer. Wizard of Oz is going for it, and in a way, he's got nothing to lose. He's in 10th, so why not take the hit now? But I tell you what, the Tattoo Star is either on to plums or he's on to pearls. That is all I'm going to say on that. But Button and David, the fact that they didn't pit, that leads me to think it's not ready just yet. But if it rains suddenly within a lap or two, the Tattoo Star is still in with a good chance at this.
100%. He's literally, everyone will have to come into the pits.
He's doing every form of rain dance, hoodoo, voodoo, whatever you want to call it in that cockpit. He's begging for a sudden downpour. Just to make it.
Well, the thing is now, as well, is Wizard of Oz. I don't think it's going to catch up to this packing time, so it might go another lap here.
It will be one more lap.
So the question is now, it will go again. The question is now, do you stay out or do you all come in? Are we going to see everyone now pull into the pits, knowing that Wizard of Oz will not make it to the packing time, because you will lose less time doing that?
I think if you're Button and David, this is the time to pull the pin.
Yeah, I think you've got to come in now. You've got to come in now.
Button is, so is Jay, so is David. Everyone's pouring in.
Jay's not.
Jay, you sneaky. Tattoo Star obviously isn't. Neither's the Flow, or I suppose the Fear is technically not here. But that is a massive shock. Jay and the Flow have not pitted, despite the rain starting to fall. The Tattoo Star has, and in a way, this is going to help. This is going to help the likes of Wizard of Oz, who's now up into 5th. He's jumped everyone, pitting that one lap sooner.
He has, yeah. And Button, unfortunately for him, he really lost out in the pits there. He's lost out to Reese's Pieces. He's lost out to David as well. He's lost out 2 positions there. But they're all onto Inters now. And because of the pace that the safety car will obviously make the cars go out when he gets to the end of this last lap, they will all catch up, despite obviously being a whole straight behind. They are all going to catch up. So, yeah, I think Jay's made a big mistake here. He will not pull 20 seconds because obviously that's how long a pit stop is. He ain't going to pull that, so he definitely should have come in there. And Wizard of Oz, obviously pitting for Inter's lap before, that has saved a lot of these drivers. If he had not, that safety car would have come in and they would have all lost around about, like I say, 20 seconds to Tattooed Star. So, yeah, they're all going to catch up now. And the safety car will be in, as there we go, there's the message. Then the Tattooed Star, as much as he thought he'd done a master stroke, unfortunately for him, everyone now has had the time to also do that master stroke. And it might not be as easy for him now, but he will take the net lead. And surely Jay will come in here. I can't see him staying out.
No, he's took the bullet already, so he's going to leave this as early as he can, and he's going to get back underway. He's got to fly, no word for it, and pull around a 20-second gap to the Tattoo Star, who's on intermediates on a wettening track. As there goes Jay, he's underway. We start once more. The Tattoo Star has not been caught out, but I think Zafir's AI car has caught everyone else out behind him. As there goes Wizard of Oz, having to be very conservative there, because David's up his inside, and so is Reese's Pieces now to the outside of that Mercedes, in towards turn 1. Reese's Pieces is going to get the move on David, and I think that's actually minor bodywork damage, as it was David just about sliding it in towards turn 3, and Wizard of Oz has finally been unleashed from behind that Aston Martin. So is Reese's Pieces. David Ballface just about keeps it on the road in 7th. Button in 8th, Sheriff Woody and Hirsch in 10th with Brewmaster out of the points, and Wizard of Oz, another penalty for him. And a Tattoo Star has lost out quite a bit of time here to Jay. It's 1.4 seconds. Jay is doing what he has to do, but how long can he keep this up?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if Jay's gaining time, it's not going to be for long, and the Tattoo Star shouldn't be trying to use his battery to stay with him, because eventually the rain will get hard enough that Jay won't be pulling a gap, and also the fact will be as well as those softs will just really burn out now in these conditions. But he is at the moment pulling away quite a bit, but I can't see it lasting that much longer, and surely soon we're going to see the Inters come on. It will come into better condition, but the flow actually could have a go at Tattooed Star here. He's getting close, and there we go. There it is. The move is made, and he makes it. And Jay's got a 3-second penalty.
Oh, that's huge.
That is huge. And I don't think now the Tattooed Star just got to stay with it. The Tattooed Star has just got to stay with it, and it'll be fine. And I think now the rain is now just got to that bit now where potentially it is now making these soft runners really, really slow, as the Tattooed Star does try to make the move back on the flow. Who's going to have the better traction? Just about the flow does, but surely it's only going to be a matter of a lap now, or a lap or two, until these Inters are definitely the best tyre. And yeah, look at the slide in there from the flow. I really think we're going to have to see these two front runners on the softs come in very, very soon.
But now it's going to be a straight fight here. Can the Tattoo Star hold on? Or will Reese's Pieces, even David and Sheriff Woody, can they catch up? Is that Jay's got 5.5 seconds already? He's going to be out in near enough last place. He's going to be out in 10th because the flow is suffering himself. I suppose the Tattoo Star, what will help him is this DRS down towards turn 1, as the flow is really struggling around the final corner, and Jay carries on again. And the flow has decided, that's enough, I'm quitting. I've took the hit for long enough, and away I go. And the Tattoo Star now back to 2nd place. But Wizard of Oz is in DRS range. Reese's Pieces very much in closing distance of that Alpine. Just not close enough, though, to make the overtake. Sheriff Woody in 5th, David 6th, Button, Hirsch, Brewmaster, and the flow will bag that final point in 10th, despite Zafir still being in the points, but hasn't really raced all evening.
Yeah, and we see now that Jay's still just pulling away, but we can definitely. I just saw there on the exit of turn 5 that the Tattooed Star did gain around about 3 tenths. So I would think now that as the Tattooed Star gets really slidey out of the exit there, and that's going to allow the Wizard of Oz to really get up behind him. But remember, the Wizard of Oz has obviously got penalties to his name. He's got 6 seconds, so really the Tattooed Star doesn't have to worry about Wizard of Oz. It's more Reese's Pieces who's behind and lurking in that McLaren. But Jay is still pulling away. He's 7 seconds ahead. And if he pits now, probably we'll get about 13 seconds behind. So he will go to the back, but he will have very fresher
Reese's
tyres.
Pieces hit Wizard of Oz. I think he lost his front wing. He's lost his front right. Jay's took the hit. And
take a penalty.
Jay has took more than a hit. He has took a He's took a cannonball to the ankles. That's what that is.
Not ideal for Jay. He comes in on the Inters, goes to the back of the pack, and now has a 10-second penalty. That is not how he wanted to be finishing this race off, from obviously being on pole position and leading it the whole way. And now he's right at the back. So, yeah, not ideal from the the Williams. I'm looking at the flow on the chart. But the Tattooed Star now then leads the Grand Prix with 9 laps to go. And really, he's just got to try and keep everyone behind him. Remember, they've not got DRS to try and overtake. So that's that advantage. But this is the corner here you've really got to be careful of. That uphill right-hander that really does unsettle the car if you get on the accelerator a bit too fast. But he's just got to keep his nerve here and try and make sure that he keeps the battery in check as well. Doesn't want to be really using it loads and loads. But now got a 4-car train for the lead of this Grand Prix. And Button will soon be a 5th car And not far behind David and Hirsch as well.
That he does. But at Tattoo Star, I thought Wizard of Oz had 3 seconds of penalties. It's not, it's 6. So Reese's Pieces and Sheriff Woody still in line for 3rd, even Buttons in line for 4th. But can the Tattoo Star hold on and take what would be his first victory in the league? As there goes Reese's Pieces, he's got to make this move on that Alpine, and he's going to go up into 2nd place despite that front wing damage. It's the McLaren now into P2. And now can he catch up that Ferrari? As there goes Sheriff Woody making his own move on the Alpine of Wizard of Oz. Just not yet.
Just not yet. The Tattooed Star now getting a bit of a gap there. 8/10 is the gap. But we're now going to see what Reese's Piece is like in a bit of clear air. Well, I say clear air. There's not a lot of distance between him and Tattooed Star, but he's past the Wizard of Oz now. We'll see how quickly he gets to the back of the Tattooed Star, and that's looking very quickly, to be honest. He's already down to 6/10. So, I mean, Tattooed Star has just got it's all about battery management, I think, now. As long as Tattooed Star's got a good amount of battery going down the final straight, he should be okay. As the Reese's Pieces there did go a bit wide, but he does get a lot closer as we come into the end of lap 25. 3/10 is now the gap, 4/10, and it's getting very slidey at the front. Reese's Pieces might try and use his battery, but Tattooed Star has got 62%. He's got the more battery, he can defend. But Reese's Pieces is already on the overtake. And now Tattooed Star's on the overtake. And this is going to be very close. Going down to turn 1. Who's going to be ahead? Here goes Reese's Pieces for the lead of the Grand Prix. And he is through, but he's got a bit wide. And the Tattooed Star's going to try and have a look. And unfortunately for Tattooed Star, it's just not enough he could do there. And I'm wondering now, are we going to see Reese's Pieces drive off into the distance? Hopefully, Tattooed Star can make a good fight of it.
Just about held it together though at the exit of turn 4. And the Ferrari, that DRS, it's still wet enough, but somehow the DRS is still active. But if this could be a Tattooed Star's one and only chance to get the overtake back before it is deactivated. And Reese's Pieces still nursing that wing damage. Can he just hold on? And that is very much a big just, as there goes Jay getting by Zophia's AI car and is up to 9th place. 13 seconds of penalties for that Williams, and at one stage was leading the way. Now it very much went south. Reese's Pieces still holding on, but I think has at least one warning in this race, whereas a Tattooed Star I think is equal to that. Wizard of Oz on 6 seconds. Sheriff Woody is still in 4th, but still in line for that podium. And for the Ferrari team, getting a double podium here, that is really going to help their Constructors' Championship. As now around the final corner, the Tattooed Star just holding on, and it is wet enough for Inters, but it's still dry enough though for the DRS, and this is a Tattooed Star's one and only chance, I fear, before it is deactivated. He is giving it everything to close up to that McLaren. He's going to go for it in towards turn 1. He's just too far back, and that was his final chance. Very much his last chance. As he hit the breaking point of turn 1, the DRS has been disabled.
Yeah, it was his final chance, and now he's going to find it a lot more difficult to get past. I have to be honest, I thought it was already off. I didn't actually realise it was still on. So, yeah, it's going to be really difficult now. I've just looked at the warnings as well. Reese's Pieces has got 2 warnings. If he gets one more, he gets a 3-second penalty. The Tattooed Star only has 1 warning. He can afford to go wide once more and not get penalised for it. So, yeah, the Reese's Pieces has to be really careful here that he doesn't go wide once again. And as we see now, Sheriff Woody's right on the back of Tattooed Star. Will we potentially see, if Sheriff Woody is clearly faster, a swap? I don't think that it is clear at the moment. I think they're going about the same pace. But as we see, oh, he's getting a bit slidey there once again. Is the Tattooed Star, but he gains back a lot of time there to Reese's Pieces. 6/10 is still the gap. He's not out of this yet. But we will have no DRS now as we enter lap 28 of this 33-lap race. 6/10, 7/10, and yeah, this might come down to who keeps it within the white lines, Cruiser.
And it is. Can Reese's Pieces hold his nerve? Is Sheriff Woody going to go for it on his teammate? And I think Sheriff Woody is just going to play rear gunner here to his teammate. As Ero's the Tattooed Star in towards turn 1. Despite all this rallycross, he is catching up to Reese's Pieces at some points as David gets a 3-second penalty and that will cement him in 7th place as Button is in the pits and kind of puts pay to another wretched evening for Button. It just hasn't fell in place when it has to. And we've got 6 laps to go at Portimao. Reese's Pieces on half of a front wing, but still looking for a maximum haul of points for his evening and his efforts. The Tattoo Star looking for his first victory in the lead. Sheriff Woody looking for his second victory in the lead. Reese's Pieces, if I'm correct, is also looking for that maiden victory for the McLaren driver. Who is going to hold their nerve as up towards the blind turn 10, there goes Reese's Pieces to the inside, just about holds it in bounds, and a Tattoo Star is still in hot pursuit, but is time ticking down, and will it run out in time for Reese's Pieces?
Well, I'll tell you what, don't write out a certain Kick Sauber in P5. He is really storming through the field, is Hirsch, and he hasn't really seen any sort of progress in terms of qualifying or the sprint today, but he seems as if he's really hot in these conditions, and he's really starting to get close to this front pack. On the saying that, even Roommaster is getting a bit closer, but obviously Hirsch has no penalties, so I wouldn't count out as Sheriff Woody there goes past his teammate into P2. Now will we see him try and force his way through on Reese's Piece, and it's definitely got harder the rain. You can see it now bouncing off the track. It's definitely wetter conditions. But as I said originally, don't count off Hirsch here. We know that he's got a lot of experience in higher tiers and he's won races before, and I know that he does like these conditions sometimes, so he's really getting onto the back of him. It just depends on where and how easy it is to overtake in these conditions. Mike Cruiser, Mike.
Yeah, I know. Just trying to take in what we've witnessed here. We've had everything this evening, and Reese's Pieces, he's still holding on, but now it's Sheriff Woody in hot pursuit, and I wonder if the Tattoo Star says, you know what, my tyres are more worn than the teammates. I'm just going to let him through and let him have this one. As you see him wrestling with that car, trying to hold on to what will be 3rd place, and if I'm correct, regardless, his first podium in FPRL, and an old, I tell you what, he's absolutely deserved it this evening with a fantastic effort. Wizard of Oz still in 4th. Hirsch, though, is the main contender to that podium spot, with Brewmaster and Wizard of Oz both having penalties. The Tattoo Star still has a clean slate, as does Hirsch. Is now down towards turn 1. That gap between the McLaren and the Ferrari is 9/10 of a second into the breaking point. Wizard of Oz heckling the Tattoo Star on, trying to force him into an error and make his way through. And in turn, he's made one himself. Goes very deep around turn 2, and that is very much, and even he knows it, that is now put him down and cemented to 6th place.
Oh, and Jay's then got another warning as well.
There goes Hirsch making a move on. Now trying to defend from Brewmaster in towards turn 5. The Sauber looking for the drive out of the corner. Haas still looking to get back past him in towards turn 7. And that is a little bit of breathing room that the Ferrari was really hoping for there. But Hirsch losing out now behind one car with penalties, is now lost out to another car with penalties. Brewmaster up to 4th.
Yeah, obviously he's entitled to fight for the position, but Hirsch will be fuming with that because he didn't really want to fight with Brewmaster. He wanted to get after the Ferraris, and now it's put him behind. And he's only got 3 laps now to try and sort of fight for the podium. Brewmaster now looks like he's going to be taking potentially Tattoo Star down into turn 1 if he gets a good run here out of the final corner. But it's definitely getting so wet out there, and look how much it is now on the track. This is really getting really wet conditions as we go into the final few laps of this Grand Prix. Lap 31 of 33. And here goes Brewmaster. And he's not going to quite make the move. And obviously he's also got to gain another 3 seconds on the Tattoo Star in these 3 laps if he wants to stay on the podium. And all the Tattoo Star goes a bit wide there. But he manages to stay ahead for another straight at least. And he will stay ahead for another straight as he does get a good run out of there. But Reese's Pieces is keeping it cool at the front, still 9/10 the gap. And I was saying at the start of this race, Sheriff Woody, he won the first race of Season 8 last season, and then you didn't really see him up there at all. Oh, and I've just gone and comms cursed him so bad.
Welcome back.
And that now means that
it's
as
an
it
open
stands
door
now,
now.
the Tattoo Star's going to have P2. So Reese's Pieces needs to keep it on the track, and he's won.
Yeah, very much that. As Edwards Brewmaster making the move in towards turn 10. Brewmaster dives up the inside of the Ferrari. The Tattoo Star knew he was there and doesn't have to fight it, and is now down to 4th. But as it stands, he's got a second in hand over his teammate and will take that second place spot. And even at that, this is now a fight for potentially 3rd between the Tattoo Star and Hirsch. We have 2 laps to go, as apparently we still have a safety car, even though that went away about 20 minutes ago. Reese's Pieces 1.1 seconds ahead of Sheriff Woody and can afford now to just coast it home. And we've seen summer sports at the start of this race. We've now turned to water sports as the heavens have opened, and Reese's Pieces is all looking up for here as Edo's a Hirsch making the move in a Tattoo Star towards turn 1. And the Tattoo Star, who was looking like he was going to take the checkered flag in P1, is now fighting just to get on the podium. I think pitting when he did, those inters have just burnt up a little bit too much, a little bit too early.
Yeah, and the Tattoo Star is now out of the podium places as he is more than 3 seconds behind his teammate Sheriff Woody. So as it stands right now, it's going to be Reese's Pieces. Hirsch is going to finish 2nd, I think. And I think Sheriff Woody will just about hold on to 3rd. But we've still got a lap and a half to go. And yeah, I think the Tattoo Star's tyres are also going off a bit as he is on tyres that are around about 2 laps older than everyone around him. As he's now getting really, really out of shape. And now it's just a case of trying to hold on for the P5, I think, at this stage. But Hirsch doesn't need to pass Remaster, but he will try his best. And actually at the moment 1.6, yeah, he might want to try and get a bit of a move on, because the Sheriff Woody might actually hold on to P2 as it stands. There's not a lot in it. There's around about 2.5 seconds as we enter the final lap of this race.
And the final tour of this Portimao circuit for Tier 3. Reese's Pieces, he has mastered the conditions perfectly, pitting at the right time, making the overtakes at the right time. He started this race as the wild card in the hards, and that wild card approach is going to put him into the top step of the podium for his very first time in FPRL. Despite having half of a win, it has been full focus and full commitment from that McLaren driver. But can Hirsch make this 1 place better and get 2nd? He's still within range of Brewmaster and 2.1 behind Sheriff Woody. The Tattoo Star, I think, is all but set to finish in 4th, and still, regardless, that is a great achievement for him to get in that position. Wizard of Oz is confirmed for 6th place. G Undisputed, it very much fell apart under the first safety car for Jay, and is now looking like he's going to finish down in 10th, actually, for that matter, despite starting the race on pole and leading the first half. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I suppose for Reese's Pieces, it certainly wasn't easy. The conditions were indeed very puzzling for the McLaren driver, but indeed, find all of the pieces, put them all together. What do you get? You get a maiden victory around the rain-soaked Portimao, drifting in style around the final corner, and the McLaren is going to coronate a new winner. Reese's Pieces takes the victory around Portimao. Sheriff Woody takes 2nd. Until Hirsch was still 2nd on the line. Welcome back, Hirsch, to the podium. Sheriff Woody takes 3rd. Brewmaster 4th. The Tattoo Star, I think the right strategy, just at the wrong time for the Tattoo Star. He's still going to take 5th place, very much indeed. Wizard of Oz will take 6th. David Lawface just about pipped the flow to the line there to take 7th. And then, if I'm correct, that will be Button, the Flow, and J Undisputed to round out the top 10 and the 10 points finishers this evening, with Reese's Pieces, the biggest winner of them all around Portugal.
Yeah, well, he did what he needed to do. He kept it on the track, and we said that about 5, 6, 7 laps from the end that he only had 1 warning left, but no, he didn't put a foot wrong after that and kept his nerve, and they were only around about 8, 9 tenths behind him in that rain, but yeah, he fully deserved. And he's shown the pace so far this season, just hasn't been able to get up there on the top step, and now he does. And once again, we don't see a Haas winning the race. So that's the end of that. Probably see a Haas probably winning the 6th race of the season. We'll have to wait till next week for that. But yeah, Reese's Pieces taking the biggest haul of points then today. 32 points he takes. Ringmaster 18, Hirsch 18, Sheriff Woody 17, Wizard of Oz 16. In fact, everyone in that race obviously took at least 6 points. So to be fair to them, that's quite a few points for everyone that did turn up. Obviously, only 10 runners. Well, take off myself and Sophia. But still, to all score 6 points, that is pretty decent. So, yeah, not a bad week for everyone with the 10 that we had. I still think it was a good, exciting race, and I think we're going to try and get the 3 into the party now.
That we will, and a very entertaining evening, despite the lack of numbers. Very much made up for that in terms of action, and Reese's Pieces, our newest winner in FPRL, Hirsch, his first podium since, we're going well back here, his first podium I think since season 3 in FPRL. It's been a long time coming for Hirsch, and of course, yeah, just cracking effort all round, especially for the Ferrari team. That's a big haul of points for their Constructors' Championship, as well as the McLarens. As we head off to the showroom and get the Ferrari up on stream. And I'm going to throw us out to the Twitch chat. Who was your driver of the day, personally? Because I think mine will reveal later on, but Monkey Boy Kurt will get the casting vote. Granted, it is the only vote that's relevant. Anyway, as we have our P3 driver here, Monkey Boy Kurt, if you've sent the invites out already, our P3 driver, Sheriff Woody, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, I'm just going to send another one to Hirsch just before I do that. Just if he wants to come in. Oh, no, I don't need to. He is in. Right, so if we can make sure we got obviously audio included for the stream, be appreciated. So obviously we'll start with Sheriff Woody, P3 in the main race. A good quali as well. Obviously going out at the end, did you think, like, obviously your teammate going for the soft tyres and that last run?
Yeah, I didn't think it would get dry, so I stuck with the inters, but yeah, I should have gone with the dries really. But happy with it.
Yeah, actually, I should actually first come on to the sprint race for you. Obviously, 11 laps. How did you think that went for yourself? Do you think you could have done any better in that one?
Not really. I just got stuck behind Jay and Flo. Couldn't really make a move on either of them. Got a bit of front wind damage, so just did what I could really.
Yeah, and then obviously what we said went to the main quali. Had a good quali, has to be said. You haven't really seen yourself that high up too many times recently, and we
No,
were saying in the
definitely.
comms, box that we were hoping that you were going to have a good race. Obviously, you finished on the podium, so you have had a good race. But going into it, you did look quite quick, P2 for a while, and then we saw you pit for the hard tyres, and it didn't really seem like you were sort of making any inroads. But did you know that it was going to obviously? Did you know exactly when the rain was going to come? Were you tempted to try and stay out on those mediums until the rain did turn up?
I think I was just dropping back on the mediums. I think when I checked, the rain said 15 minutes, and then when I pitted a lap later, it was like 5 minutes. So it was just making the best of it, really.
And then obviously that safety car came, and that kind of gave the advantage at the time to everyone else that hadn't pitted. But then the rain did come, and kind of saw yourself at the end with your teammate Tattooed Star, who gave it a good go. Has to be said, your teammate had a good race today, but I think his tyres were a couple of laps older than everyone else's, and it started to fall off a bit at the end. Reese's Pieces, the winner today. A lot of the time you were near. They just couldn't quite get close, and it is quite difficult in these conditions. And then obviously with the 3 seconds that you picked up, I guess it was from then just try and keep P2, which unfortunately for yourself just tipped by Hirsch. But all in
Yeah,
all, you
definitely.
must be still pleased to be on the podium today.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good race. I couldn't catch Reese. He was way too quick, even with, I think he had front wind damage, but he was so quick.
Yeah, no, he did look very quick out there, but obviously next week we move on to. I'm going to have a quick look, as I don't know, which is really bad of me. It is Monza next week. How do we fare around the classic track?
Hopefully all right. I don't think I had a good race there last season, but hopefully I can do better.
Or hopefully you can carry on how you finish this one with another podium potentially. But once
Hopefully.
again, well done on the P3. Nice to see you back on the podium and getting some good points for Ferrari as well. Cruiser, I'm going to hand back to you for our P2 man.
Thank you, Monty, and congratulations, Sheriff Woody. Your first podium, I think, since your victory, actually, around Bahrain last season. But now for another driver, we are definitely rolling back to the calendar in FPRL, rolling back the seasons. Hirsch, I think this is the first time I've ever actually interviewed you or even spoke to you, so well, I say welcome back to the podium, and it's certainly a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. Obviously, missing a few races lately. Tier 2 last season was pretty shit. Didn't even get a podium, I don't think. But obviously, being demoted to Tier 3, a bit of a league where pace is, I guess the same amongst everyone else. But yeah, it's good to be back, man. Good to be back.
I'm probably the only person that understood you here because we're both Scottish. But
Probably.
David, where's the subtitles are not included? Where was that? Did you had that for me when in China? But onto the race. The sprint race didn't really go too well, but the main race, did you compromise your setup, seeing it would be a wet to dry race?
Well, not really, to be honest. I just stuck. Well, I didn't really have any practice before this session because my game was updating. So I just went straight into it and just put the Miami setup, hoping that would work because I was pretty confident with the Miami setup from a few weeks ago. So I just used that, and then obviously the sprint race was shocking. Qualified rubbish, couldn't even get a lap in, and then yeah, it just didn't work in the sprint race, and obviously the future race, the actual race was much better. Obviously, just trying to hold back a few people in the softs, which paid off kind of until I spun out, got wing damage, and then tried to do an undercut, and then that's when the rain came, and then I guess just experience helped in that case when when the rain comes, everyone just kind of becomes neutral, and yeah, just managed to keep it on track, not get a penalty and get P2. So yeah, happy days.
Indeed, a very happy day. And on to Monza next week. Dare I say,
Yep.
duplicate success?
Okay, so find out, mate.
That we will.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else there, my bad. But still, though, it's, I suppose, with experience comes wisdom, and with that experience brings home another podium for Hirsch, and rolling back to the years for them, as I'll congratulate them and pass on to Monty Boy Kurt if I can find the blummin' car. Where is it? I've lost it. There it is. There's the McLaren there. I momentarily chose to be blind. Monty Boy Kurt, over to you and our race winner, Reese's Pieces.
Just turn the mic back on. Yes, thank you, Cruiser. Well done, Hirsch, mate. Good to see you back on the podium. P2 looked very strong in the wet, obviously near the end, so well done to you. But we move on to our main man of the feature race, P1. First P1, I think, in FPRL, so you must be pleased. Reese's Pieces finds himself in the top step. And first of all, well done, mate. Congratulations on your first win. It's always good to get your first win in league racing, if it is, or in this league anyway. But we'll start with the sprint race, and obviously P2 in P2 in the quali, P2 in the main race. Obviously had a very good fight with Wizard of Oz towards the end of the sprint, but he just picked up that 3-second penalty, which in the end, I guess, killed off the bit of the battle that you were having at the end. But nevertheless, P2 in both quali and the sprint race, did you think you could potentially have got pole position in the sprint? Because I know you were just pipped at the line by the Wizard of Oz by just a few tenths.
Yeah, well, I mean, coming into the weekend itself, I obviously saw that it was a sprint, and I just don't do well in sprints, to be honest. I don't like the format, so I like to stick to just a normal qualifying in a race. So it was a little bit extra to do, a little bit more work, and in terms of getting an actual podium, well, a podium in the sprint, I was quite surprised because Portimao is not my favourite track at all. So when I got pipped to the line by Wizard of Oz, it was a little bit expected. I didn't expect to be on the top. Same for the actual race itself for the sprint. I didn't expect to be anywhere near the front, but I was, and I just kept it cool. Yeah, that's 3 second time penalty didn't help me. It was on that long left-hander. I just went slightly out wide, and it just pushed my car. I think I just lost the back end a little bit. But to be fair, Wizard of Oz did really well. Just kept it in front. Management with the ARS was perfect, and I just kept draining it and draining it. Just tried to get past, but didn't work in the end.
Yeah, no, obviously it was still a great battle to watch, and perfect way to, I guess, start the day off. But then we moved into the main quali, which obviously finished up with some on the softs, most of them on the inters. Well, you were one of them on the inters that finished P3. It was in the feature race quali. I'll say the same thing to Sheriff Woody, but was anything part of your mind that thought, no, I'm going to go and stick it on the softs and try and do a lap? Obviously, what Jay did in the end, I think 9 tenths quicker than anyone else, because it did just about dry up in the end for the soft tyres.
Yeah, no. When we saw the rain on the radar, I was obviously a bit skeptical because I'd never do well in the wet. So going into it, the back was sliding everywhere, and I was surprised to get up where I was. And then had a whole huge weather change, which kept throwing everybody into different positions, and got my teammate up there as well. But I fueled up for, I think it was 2 laps worth, just to try and go round twice to see if my inters would heat up. But on the second lap, I did improve massively. But obviously, when you go out on the softs and you time it perfectly, when the rain's gone, you're just gonna fly into the top. So yeah, and I just couldn't pick my teammate. So yeah, happy with third in qualifying, to be fair, where it was. But it was amazing to just watch the way that everybody just, the times just tumbled and the track improved. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it definitely was for us in the comms box as well. We were definitely loving it here. But on to the race, and I think that sort of the first half, you sort of kept it sort of steady, just behind the front couple that was at the time of Jay and Sheriff Woody towards the start, and then it's sort of hard. So the hard ties that you start on sort of come into life around about, say, lap 11, lap 12, when everything was sort of dropping off, and then the safety car fell at the right time for you. Obviously, we did see the Tattooed Star gamble it straight away and go on the Inters, and I think everyone else just about had enough time to then pit and get on them before the safety car actually came in. So, in some respects, yeah, it's a little bit obviously luck in your favour that the safety car didn't come in that lap, and then you would have been a good 15, 20 behind the Tattooed Star. But towards the end of the race, obviously, you got the lead, and we saw on the on the race director, you only had one warning left until a penalty. So was it always play on your mind just to try and keep it within the white lines?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the Inters, it got to winter weather. I mean, everybody kept diving in and staying out, so it was really difficult to try and judge when to come in properly. And I think the biggest thing that helped me get up to where I was overtaking Button in the pits. I don't know whether Button had a bad stop or anything, but overtaking him really, really helped me get to where I was. And then obviously that safety car restart, I managed to get David straight away, which was lucky. And then going on to it, I started sliding quite a bit, and my PSI was a bit too high for me, so I was trying to manage it as much as I could. So I did slide around quite a bit, which probably explains why I got so many warnings. And then I slid as well as I think the Wizard did as well. And then I think I hit the back and just lost my end plate. just because it was so difficult to try and keep the car on the track. And I think that actually, to be fair, even though it's not the best thing in the world to lose a bit of your front wing, it actually helped my car keep it a little bit more understeery, and it helped me go through the corners with a little bit less slidiness on the back of the car. So it helped me keep it, and I don't know, the pace just kept coming and coming and coming.
Yeah, and obviously getting towards the end, it was just keep it on the track to the end. You had a few penalties behind you, but obviously once again, a big congratulations to you for the win today. Your first win, always a good feeling for anyone that does league racing. We move on then to Monza next, and could we see you potentially make it back-to-back wins at Monza?
Um, I highly doubt that. Monza has never been my favorite track at all. Love it in real life, hate it on the game. I can never get it right. But we shall see.
Okay, well, once again, really well done on today. The most points out of anyone, obviously, 32 points, which will keep you in good stead for the championship. Obviously, halfway through now, half of the rounds left to go. Cruiser, back to you, mate.
Thank you, Monkey, and I'll pass on my congratulations to Reese's Pieces also. And that is going to be it for our time in FPRL. We've hit the 2 hour mark for our entertainment tonight, so thank you very much for tuning in this long. But before we do sign out, and very brief sign out, Monkey Boy Kurt, who's your driver of the day?
Well, I think it has to go down to it has to go down to the winner today. I think he's come P2 in the sprint. He's then won the main race. And he won it with some end plate damage. He's just actually mentioned to us again. I actually completely forgot about that. So I think it does go today to Reese's Pieces. It definitely deserved. But I will say a big shout out as well to the Tattooed Star. I think if you managed to maybe keep it on the podium, you definitely would have been a lot higher up in terms of if I was going to choose you or not. But yeah, big shout out to him as well. But Reese's Pieces, you get it today.
And there we go, and I'll give a quick shout out to Hirsch as well, his first podium in years in FPRL, let alone seasons. But on that note, keep it brief, and that is going to be it for tonight on FPRL. Thank you very much for tuning in and for watching. We'll be back this Wednesday with myself, Monkey Boy Kurt, and the rest of Tier 2 take to the Portimao circuit before we round out our week in Portugal with our Tier 1 race, all of them 8 PM UK time on twitch.tv/FP Racing League, before we pack our bags and head off to Monza. It's going to be a good one in FPRL, I can guarantee you that. But Monkey Boy Kurt, ahead of 2 races this week, I will see you on track.
You will do, mate, and thank you everyone for watching.
That has been my Totons partner, Monkey
Cheers,
Boy
guys.
Kurt, and this has been Cruiser 1872. Thank you all very much for watching, and from all of us here at FPRL, good night, and I am away for a lie down.